It is a celebration of rainbows and donated dildos right now in the WNBA dump. Headline at Front Office Sports. WNBA Finals average 1.5 million viewers, second highest series on ESPN. This is amazing! Celebrate the butt bongo! Credit where credit is due. I expected the WNBA to draw a few flies to this steaming turd, but I did not expect them to thrive without Caitlin Clark in the playoffs. Maybe Uncle Casey is wrong. Maybe there is a market for pretend basketball. Of course, I'm not totally convinced of that, and neither are investors, neither are team owners, which is why they are refusing to give millions of dollars to unknown WNBA players. But credit where credit is due. The WNBA performed impressively well during the playoffs. Throughout the postseason, they averaged 1.2 million viewers, and during the WNBA Finals, the Phoenix Masculines, the Las Vegas Anonymous Faces, they averaged 1.5 million viewers. It's even more impressive when you consider the fact that the series was an uncompetitive sweep. And it's even more impressive because throughout the playoffs, no one was talking about the WNBA. There were no storylines. There were no major stories. No one seemed to care that A'ja Wilson was chasing her third ring along with the inaugural rights to the Platinum Pooper. I thought the WNBA was in trouble. I did not think they could maintain the audience without Caitlin Clark, without Sophie Cunningham, without Angel Reese. But maybe there really is a growing market for pretend basketball. Keyword, maybe. And that is the biggest problem for the WNBA, the unknown. No one knows if this growth is sustainable. No one knows if this is a positive trend or a temporary trend. While ratings for the WNBA Finals are impressive, it also represents a problem for the league because you better believe WNBA players are going to use the ratings as leverage to negotiate significantly higher salaries. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the main channels in the description below. Look, no one is disputing the fact that WNBA players are underpaid. It's criminal that Caitlin Clark's only making $75,000 a year. Angel Reese is worth significantly more money than what she is being paid. No one is disputing that. But you can't give Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese millions while continuing to give pesos to the vast majority of unknown players in the league. WNBA players lost a lot of leverage when Caitlin Clark rejected Unrivaled, which, by the way, and this is pure speculation on my part, I think Caitlin Clark was encouraged. I think she was asked to not play in Unrivaled. If you were an investor in the WNBA, would you want your most valuable asset to be playing in a rival league? Anyway, WNBA players lost a lot of leverage when Caitlin Clark rejected Unrivaled, but they gained a lot of leverage with their performance in the playoffs. Look, I have been telling you guys for years, there was going to come a time when WNBA players would be expected to perform. There would come a time when the sympathy money expires and WNBA players would be expected to show up. To their credit, they did. I might not like this league. I might not like political activists who are disguised as pretend basketball players, but there is no denying the fact that WNBA players exceeded expectations in the playoffs, and they are going to demand to be paid for exceeding those expectations. However, I don't think the league is going to comply. I don't think the WNBA is going to give the players exactly what they want. This is a critical offseason for the WNBA, probably the most critical offseason in the history of the league. For the first time ever, you have an audience. For the first time ever, you have momentum. And the CBA could not have expired at a worse time. From a business perspective, you'd like to see more than 2 years of growth before you commit millions of dollars to players. You got to remember, historically, the WNBA couldn't draw flies to a fresh turd. Games were played in empty high school gyms. This sudden surge of growth, it's great, but is it sustainable? You know, back in the 90s, WCW became the #1 wrestling promotion in the country, in the world. For 2 years, WCW was unstoppable. A couple of years later, they were out of business. They were hemorrhaging money. They were paying some wrestlers six-figure salaries who never performed. They were never on TV. I know Kat Engelbert is taking the heat right now, but Kat Engelbert is looking out for the long-term interest of the league. She knows if she commits millions of dollars to players and ratings return to historical averages, the WNBA is in deep shit. So, what do? My stance hasn't changed. Since WNBA players have unrivaled to fall back on for now, I think they go on strike. I think the 2026 season at minimum is postponed, but more than likely it's canceled. Then the question's going to be, will the WNBA be able to recover? A deal will eventually get done, but what will they be coming back to if an entire season is lost? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later on the main channel.